The latest three tech trees that have been added into World of Tanks Blitz, being the CS63, VZ55, and WZ1321, have all received very meh expectations and reviews. The vehicles themselves are very mediocre. I mean, the WZ1321's actually pretty solid now, and the VZ does have some decent things going for it, like high pen and decent hull-down capabilities, but overall, these three vehicles are among the least popular tier 10s in the game. And it's no doubt why. There's really nothing about these vehicles that stand out when you can grind other lines that have unique abilities that are much better. So, in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the new Tier 10 that is going to be researchable coming into the game. I am really excited for this tank, and I think Wargaming, if properly balancing it, will actually have an amazing tank that people are going to want to grind. So, let's see what this vehicle is. Oh, you can probably tell what country it's from just by the color of the tank's armor. This is a Chinese Tier 10 Tech Tree Heavy, known as the BZ75. It's a vehicle that I actually own on World of Tanks PC. I think it's an incredibly fun tank. It looks modern, but it's probably more of a Cold War era vehicle, I should point that out. The hull of this tank, if you'll notice, is the exact same as the WZ-111-5A, so keep that in mind. I don't know if it's going to have the same armor as the 5A, probably not, but it is the same hull design. It's just a different turret. I think the vehicle looks amazing, though. That's one of the major reasons why I think this tank is so cool. It just looks absolutely fantastic. So I am incredibly excited to grind this vehicle here, and this is obviously going to be the thumbnail what you're currently looking at. So the BZ75, unfortunately we don't have the stats of it currently, but I do have a couple tidbits from Wargaming and from Tanks.gg about how the vehicle should perform. First of all, Wargaming announced that this vehicle might have HESH when it's released. Yeah, that's kind of weird. A Chinese tank with HESH. It'll be the first one in the game. And that'll be really nasty, because I should point out to you that the BZ on PC features a pretty nasty gun. It has 650 damage per shot, and that's because it features, I'm not actually sure, 152 millimeters when it appears. Let's double check. Yes, it is a 152 millimeter armament. How much alpha the vehicle is going to have in Blitz is up to really our imagination as of right now, because if we take a look at the E100, this vehicle on PC has 750 damage per shot, and that means that in Blitz the 680 is quite a bit less, and that's after a buff. It used to be 640. So when this vehicle has 650 damage per shot, it's probably going to be more like 600, maybe in the 500 range, something like that. I can't imagine it'll be 600 above, but maybe I could be wrong. I mean, that's not a ridiculously high alpha for what is a 150 millimeter, so I guess we're going to have to find out. But either way, this thing will hit hard. I guarantee it's going to hit above 460, most likely in the 500 to 600 range. So this is going to be a big slapper. You'll notice that the DPM on this vehicle is pretty mediocre, at least base, but remember, this is World of Tanks PC, where if you run a vehicle properly equipped, you can put vents on it, and then you can obviously put a bounty rammer, and then you can put more directive things and run the even higher DPM, 3% there. I mean, you can get this thing up to 2900 DPM if you're running it properly, which is a lot more impressive. We're not even running Brothers in Arms, 2943 DPM if properly equipped on PC. It's obviously not going to have that much in Blitz. We can expect this vehicle, if it is going to have a 150 millimeter, I would expect to be about 2500 with rammer and 2300 with Cali. That's about what you're going to see for a vehicle balanced like this. Now, dispersion factors seem about right. It's 0.36 on this vehicle, and that's with vents on and everything. So I would guess that that's the equivalence to refined gun. It'll probably be about 0.39 dispersion and 0.36 if you're running refined. Its on-movement dispersion is also on par with what I would expect in Blitz. That's pretty dang atrocious. By the way, mobility, this is not a fast vehicle. It reaches a top speed of 30 and has a reverse of 15. Something that we will notice in Blitz, I should point that out right now, there are no rockets on this vehicle. We can take a look at the back right here. That is not a rocket. So for those of you that are quick to point out, this is a rocket boost vehicle in World of Tanks PC. Yes, I know. As I said, I have ground this line. But it's not going to have rockets in Blitz. We can clearly see that's not going to be the case. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be awful. It's probably going to have a bit more mobility. So instead of going 30, I would expect this vehicle to go maybe 35, 40-ish kilometers per hour. It would still probably stick to the 15 reverse. I would expect it to be quite a slow vehicle, though, as it is fairly well armored. Now, there's a lot of people that have looked at this tank and they're like, wow, that turret armor looks impenetrable. You can see that right here. It's the second most liked comment. Unfortunately, that must be a player that is not familiar with the armor of this vehicle, because in reality, it's actually pretty easy to pen. It has 3 massive hatches that we can see even while fully hull down using the 8 degrees of gun depression are completely visible. 240 mils on the one hatch, 178 on the other, and 178 on the other as well. So essentially, while this vehicle does have a turret that is ridiculous, I mean, it's 400 mils on the base part, the problem is these hatches completely ruin the actual thickness of the vehicle. Personally, I would like to see these 2 hatches on the side to be red and just the one in the center to be penetrable. But I guess we're going to have to find out what Wargaming does. I can tell you for a fact that using a vehicle that has so much armor, yet when you use it hull down, doesn't really matter because you got these massive hatches, makes it very annoying. I can tell you that for a fact. Something else that's not great is the roof armor. It's actually pretty weak at 60 mils, and it's actually 35 on this whole roof bit here. So if you ever have the opportunity to hit the roof of this tank, you're going to completely overmatch it, which is obviously a bit of a downside, so you do gotta keep that in mind. But as you'll see, upper plate super solid, 340 to 320 millimeters thick. So even loading heat shells, it's upwards of 360 because obviously heat has less pen due to no shell normalization. So yeah, the vehicle's armor, if it's corresponding to how it is on PC, will be very solid on the flat ground capabilities. The turret's incredible, but again, very weak lower plate against AP shells. It's only about 205 millimeters thick, and those hatches are going to make it much easier to pen as well. Side scraping capability is not great. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever, but I mean, that's barely even an angle. As we can see, it's about 17 degrees, and that's about it. You over angle it slightly, this thing's going to be easily penned on the sides. It's really not that thick. The rear of the vehicle is 60 mils, so pretty easy to pen with HE. The rear of the turret's only 70. So overall, we can pretty easily deduce that this vehicle it's pretty strong, but I mean, I can't really say there's anything incredible about the armor profile. I mean, we can very easily go to tanks, full list, make our way to tier 10, heavy tank, and where is China? There it is. If we were to pull out a WZ-111 5A on PC and do the exact same armor comparison, sure, the hull on this vehicle is a bit weaker. It's about 250 instead of, what, 310-ish? But look at the turret on the 5A. I mean, it's literally impervious. Using the 7 degrees of gun depression on this tank, even loading heat shells, which this thing has very good heat pen, good luck. I mean, this is why I don't really think the vehicle is going to be as strong as people think. If Wargaming balances it properly, I would like to see the hatches removed and the underbelly of the turret to be the weak spot. What do I mean by that? Well, if we make our way back over to the BZ armor, I would like the under part here to be the weak spot if you have enough pen. I think that would be a lot better. Maybe like 340 plus or something like that. Maybe if you have enough pen, you can cut through the cheeks. I don't know. But I really don't like the way this vehicle's balanced on PC. Those hatches really ruin a lot of the capabilities, because why would you ever want to drive a tank when you're fully hull down? No matter at what angle, you're always going to be a pen for opponents. Thankfully, the vehicle does hit hard. But you got to remember, on PC, this thing has rocket boosting capabilities, and that's why the tank has these big weak spots. In Blitz, it's not going to have these capabilities. So hopefully, Wargaming balances it adequately. Because again, if this vehicle is slow, and it doesn't feature that much armor, why would I drive this when the 60 TP exists, which is going to have really good hull armor, a solid turret, and it's going to hit just as hard? So I guess we'll have to find out. Let me know what you guys think about this vehicle in the comments down below. Are you excited for it? I can tell you I am. I was excited when I heard it was being released a couple months ago. I was just waiting for the announcement from Wargaming to make my video. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.